Hey, what is going on, guys? 2.Sports15 here, and today we have another episode of Toronto Maple Leafs via GM mode here in NHL 13. So we're still in the playoffs. We are in the third round. We're going to be taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Arch rivals of the Toronto Maple Leafs have been for a very long time, and hopefully we can beat them in this series. So let's get right to the action. I'm going to go to the playoff tree, and we'll see. I'll go over what happened so far. So, in the second round of the playoffs in the Western Conference, we'll do that first. Columbus beat Phoenix in 7, and LA beat Edmonton in 7. And then in the East, we beat Winnipeg in 7, and then the Montreal upset New York in 7. So in the Western Conference, it's Columbus against LA, one first seed against the third seed, and then in the East, it's us, Toronto, against Montreal, 1 versus 5 seed. So that is that right there. And what else would we need to go? We need to go to team standings. So we'll go by points first. So points, we finished in second in the NHL for points, so we were really good in that. Montreal finished in fifth, so even though they were a fifth seed in the Eastern Conference, they only finished fifth in the NHL with 101 points, so it could be pretty close for that. Goals for per game, we were in first with a 3.23, and Montreal was in ninth with a 2.71. Goals against, we were in we were in sixth, with a 2.44 goals against per game, and Montreal was just ninth, so like 4 behind us, with a 2.49. Then power play percentage, we were second with a 20.6, and Montreal was 10th with a 17.4. And then penalty kill, we were fifth with an 86.3, and Montreal was the Canadiens. Montreal was 25th with a 81.2. So we had a pretty good power play. We had a good goals for, but these guys are really close with us. I'll give it that to them. We'll check out their lines to see how they are, and then we'll get into the simulation. So we got what is up with our lines? Oh, yes. I mixed them up last episode. It's been a while since I've done this. It's been like probably a week since I've done an episode of Toronto Maple Leafs GM mode. So we have mixed up lines, and it seemed to be working. So we'll roll with it. We got Kadri, Scheifele, and Zarkov on the first. Then Colburn, Drouin, and JVR on the second. Then Huberdeau, Vitoloma, and Kessel on the third. And then we got Carter Ashton, Travis Moen, and Derek Dorsett on the fourth. Defensively, we got Morgan Riley and Dion Phaneuf, Pulock, Gardner, and then Dougie Hamilton and Brian Campbell. And then in goalie, we have Jack Campbell, 83 overall, and we have Theodore backing him up with a 77 overall. And why did I go there? We got to go to the Montreal Canadiens, the Habs. Okay, so their first line is Pacioretty, Datsuk, and Eric Cole. I think since we've made those changes to our first line, it's pretty close, but our first line is still better. Holland, Thornton, and Bork. I think our second line is quite a bit better. They have Thornton, who's a standout player, but a 78 on the second line, that's just not going to cut it. Third line, Polkanik, Gionta, and Biche. Our third line is miles better because we have that third line stacked up with Huberdeau, Kessel, and I can't remember who else. But then fourth line, they have LeBlanc, Eller, and Bourneval, and their fourth line is quite a bit better. I don't know why Eller's there and LeBlanc. They should have been up a couple more lines. I don't know what's going on with that. Defensively, they have Markov and Beaulieu. Our top two are a lot better. Lyles and Franzen, 2x Toronto Maple Leafs, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. Ours is a lot better there, and Tenorti and Yannick Weber, our third pairing, is a lot better. So offensively and defensively, we have them covered, but net, they obviously have one of the best goalies in the NHL. Carey Price, 90 overall, so it's going to be hard to score goals on these guys, but hopefully we can. So we got first game of this series at home. We have home ice advantage against these Montreal Canadiens. So let's get right into it. Let's go. We're going to slow sim this whole game. And we started off with only like 20 seconds, 20 seconds into the game, JVR scores. They get a power play, but then we score on our power play with Pulock with a slap shot from the slot, and that is the end of the first period shots. We are up about 6, and we are headed to the second period with a 2-goal lead. So halfway through the second period, we get a power play. Kessel scores a power play goal, and it's looking good here, boys. We're headed to the third period, and we have a 3-goal lead. So about 5 minutes in, nothing happening. Eric Cole scores for them, so we got to shut them down here. We have a 2-goal advantage, and about 5 minutes left. They get power play, we kill it off, and that is your game, boys. So we win game 1 in Toronto. We win it 3-1 in regulation. So shots were pretty much even. We had one more shot than them. That third period, we didn't score any. They got 1 goal. Eric Cole scored it about 6 minutes in that third period. Sorry, my bad. Let me just grab a sip of water. There we go. So, Jack Campbell was the first star. Pulock was the second with 2 points. And then JVR was the third with 1 point. So, we are headed to Game 2. Still at home in Toronto, the ACC. Taking on these Montreal Canadiens. So, here we go. We will simulate this right away. So, first period, still nothing happened. About 10 minutes in, they had a power play, but we killed it off. They get another one there. We get a power play, but they kill it off. And that's the end of the first. They're dominating us in shots, almost doubling us up. But we're hanging in there. They get a couple more power plays there, but our penalty kills are really performing here. And we're headed to the third period, 0-0. About 5 minutes in, they do score. About 4 minutes in, sorry. We get a power play. We couldn't score there. They get a power play with a chance to end it, but they can't score. We got 3 minutes left to score, but we can't. So we lose game 2, 1-0. Both goalies had an outstanding performance. There was only a total of 53 shots in this game. 28 for us and 25 for them, but we do lose that one after that Bork goal in the third period. So we are headed to game 3 in Montreal. We lost our home ice advantage. Mayer was in the game for some reason, and he shut the door down. So I don't know who they're gonna roll with in the third game. Sorry, my bad. So yes, let's get into this next game. So here we go, 6 times sim speed, and we'll get to it. So Dorsett scores from the 4th line, attaboy. And then Kadri scores after he's been bumped up to the first line. That left wing spot is for him. And then Pacioretty scores that power play goal after we took another penalty. We've been taking too many penalties, and after the first period, shots are pretty much even, and we are up 2-1 here. So about halfway through the second period, still same score, 2-1 for us, and 5 minutes left, and still nothing. Second period is done. We're headed to the third. We gotta shut the door down here. We've had a few collapses in this playoffs in the third period, but it's not looking like it's happening in this game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have won game 3. So we go up in this series 2-1 after a 2-1 victory. We won in shots again, so that's 3 straight games that we have more shots than them, 29-22. So a great game there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jack Campbell had another stellar performance. He's only allowed 1 goal per game so far in this series. So Price gets the first start, Campbell gets the second, and Kadri gets the third. So yeah, we've only allowed a total of 3 goals through 3 games. So Jack Campbell's been performing really well, better than Carey Price is performing. Carey Price has only played game 3 and game 1, where he gave up a total of 5 goals over the course of 2 games, and they had their backup goalie play in this game that he got a shutout. So we're still in Montreal here for game 4, and we'll get right into the action. So here we go, 5 minutes in, nothing happening. About 10 minutes in, we get a power play, and we only have 2 shots really early, but we do pick up 6 by the end of the first. We score a goal there, Jonathan Drouin from the power play, and the first period is done. We are up in shots now after we made a little bit of a comeback there. We get a power play, can't score, and we're about 10 minutes into the second period. Lars Eller scores on the power play for them, and then Louis LeBlanc scores for them. So it is 2-1 for them, but Zarkov scores from that first line. He was one of the guys that got promoted, but then Louis LeBlanc gets his second goal of the period. So we're headed to the third, down 3-2. They get a power play, we kill it off, and there we go. Mark Scheifele scores for us with about 8 minutes left, and then Morgan Riley scores a shorty And they're still on the power play for a while, and Datsuk scores on that same power play. So 5 minutes left. It's 4-4. We get a power play, long power play. We can't score. We're headed to OT. Franzen scores on the power play, and the series is all tied up at 2 apiece. So holy cow, the goalies didn't have that good of a game. Either one didn't have a good game. So Campbell stopped 22 of 27 shots, so he definitely did not get one of those 3 stars in this game. So neither goalie played well, but we do pick up the loss. Louis LeBlanc picks up the first star with 2 goals. Cody Franzen gets the second star with a G and an apple. And then Lars Eller gets the third star with a G and an apple. So we are headed to Game 5 back into Toronto series, all tied up. And it is now, once again, a best of 3 series. So we'll sim up to this game right here, and we'll see how we face here. So, holy... I was thinking that this was going to be a blowout of a series, and it's looking like Carey Price isn't the factor that is keeping them in this series, because it's been high-scoring games, all that good stuff. So we trade power plays there to start off the game, and 5 minutes left in the first, still nothing happening. After the first period, shots are pretty much even 10 apiece, and we're headed to the second period. So in the second period, 10 minutes in, still nothing happening, but Zarkov scores with a clapper from the point, and then they get a power play. They don't score, sorry, and we are headed to the third period with a 1-goal lead, and we're up in shots by about 5. So we get a power play there. We can't score. 10 minutes left. We get another power play. There we go. Pulak scored on the power play, but we're still on the power play. We can't score one more time. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Joe Colburn scores there, the empty netter to ice the game, and we win game 5. We win game 5, 3-0, and we take a 3-2 series lead. So if Montreal wants to win the series, they have to win 2 straight games, and we only have to win 1 of the next 2. So I'd really like to win it in the Bell Center in Montreal in Game 6. Jack Campbell gets the first star, Carey Price gets the second, and Zarkov gets the third. So Jack Campbell had a shutout there, but that game is done with, and we are headed to the Bell Center in Montreal for Game 6, and this is a chance for us to end this series. So I love to end this series here. Wouldn't have to risk Game 7 because anything can happen in Game 7. The Leafs proved that against Boston in the first round of this year's playoffs. So they get a power play with about 10 minutes in, and they can't score. They get another power play, and Travis Moen scores just at the tail end of that. We get another power play, but we can't score. And at the end of the first period, shots are pretty much even, and we have a 1-0 lead. So 10 minutes left in the second, they get a power play, but JVR scores just after it ends. So we're up 2-0 here with a chance to win this series. At the end of the second period, we're up 2-0. We're leading in shots as well by about 5. So 10 minutes left, and P. Holland scores for them, so they're down 1 goal. We got to shut the door here. Jack Campbell, stand on your head, bud. And he does, and we're headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd year in a row. Holland made it interesting with that goal there in the third period to make it a 1-goal game, but in the end, we did win this series. 2-1 was the final score of Game 6, and we are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals to take on the winner of the Western Conference Finals. So a great series there. Went 6 games. I'm glad it didn't go 7 again, so we get a chance to take a break. So Carey Price gets the first start, Jack Campbell gets the second, and JVR gets the third. So we win this series. We are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals, and hopefully we do have home ice advantage. As long as Columbus isn't in the Stanley Cup Finals, we should have the home ice advantage. So we'll sim up a couple days until we see who we're playing, and we're taking on the LA Kings. So that means we have home ice advantage. I'll go check how they did in the conference finals. So we'll go to the playoff tree. So in the Western Conference, Columbus got upset by the LA Kings in 7, and we obviously beat Montreal in 6. So it is going to be the 1 seed from the Eastern Conference, us, the Toronto Maple Leafs, against the 3 seed from the Western Conference, the LA Kings. So it should be a good matchup for next it starts next week. I'll try and get this episode out back-to-back days, and then I'm gonna try and do these consistently on a daily basis. These episodes, so we'll go through all these goals leaders and stuff. So JVR led the team, and he's tied for the NHL lead in the playoffs with 9 goals, tied with Mealy. And then we had nobody else up there. Assists, Huberto's leading with a tie with Kopitar with 12 assists, and then Scheifele's tied. Scheifele's tied for third with 11, and then Kessel is in 8th with 9 points. We have Scheifele up there with 15. He's tied for third. And then Huberto's in 8th with 14 wins. Campbell's leading the NHL with 12. Save percentage, Jack Campbell is not up there. Goals against, Campbell's in third with a 1.60 goals against average. And it looks like Sergei Bobrovsky has a 0.80 goals against average, but I don't think he's playing every game. I think he's their backup goalie, so I think that's why he might have that good goals against average. So I did post an update video yesterday, and I got a few comments from you guys, and it was mainly about this GM mode series, and you guys wanted me to play an 8-game series. So in this episode, not 8-game series, 8 years for this GM mode. So we're in the year 5 playoffs. So if we do 8 years, that would mean another 3 years, which I wouldn't mind if that sounds pretty good to me. But I'm actually going to put a poll code down in the description of this video, and you guys can go vote on how many years you want to see from this one. If you guys want to see another one, like another GM mode startup quickly, then choose like 6, 7. But if you want to see this GM mode continue for a long time, then choose like 8, 9, 10. So it's all up to you guys. I don't really care. Either way works good for me. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Come back next time for the Stanley Cup Finals against the LA Kings. And that is it for this episode, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.